In this lesson video, we will learn to work with simple interest. First, we will find the simple interest formula, and then based on that formula, we will learn how to calculate principal amount, final amount, interest and interest rate when some of the quantities are given and some of the unknown quantities will be asked to find. Here we will learn how to work with simple interest rate. Assume that R% simple interest rate on a principal amount P for time period T. Then we need to calculate how much will be the interest and what will be the final amount. That is R% interest rate. Here we need to assume that interest rate is per period. And such after such T number of periods. So for example, simple example is per year, per annum. R% interest rate per annum, per year. Then this time period we are considering in year, but it is not necessary always to be the time period to be in year. But let us, for simplicity, let us first assume that it is in year. So R% interest rate per year on principal amount P. So that means R% interest on principal amount P. So interest per year, the interest amount per, here for simplicity we consider year, but any period, per year or any period, will be R% interest rate on principal amount P. So that means in one period of time, if it is in years, so in 1 year, the interest will be R% of this initial amount P. So that can be written as R division 100 percentage times P. So this is the interest. This is the interest that will be received per year if the interest rate is per annum, or per period, any other period. So now, how much interest we will receive for a total of T years or T period? So in a total of T period, total interest. This interest is only in 1 year or in one period. So the total interest that will be received, if we denote by capital I, will be this per year or per period interest times T years or T period. So this one will just multiply by T. So we will get R division 100 times P times T. That can be written as P times, that is P we are bringing in front, R times T, that is RT division 100. So the interest rate times the number of periods division 100 times the principal amount, that is initial investment amount, will give us the interest. So that is the formula to calculate the interest amount. Now if this is the interest amount and this is the principal amount, then the final amount after T period, T years or T time period, the final amount P prime, final amount will be initial amount, that is the principal amount, initial investment, plus the interest obtained. So this will be P will remain as it is, plus P times RT, P times RT division 100. So if we take P common here, 1 plus, if we take the P common, then it will be 1 plus RT 100. So this is the final amount formula. So final amount equals either initial amount plus the calculated interest, we will be just adding, or initial amount times 1 plus, we shall write like this, 1 plus RT division 100. So here R, T, P and P prime, 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 are variable. So based on some given values we can find some other unknowns. So there can be many combinations of problems. Let us start with this simple example here. Mr. X invested $10,000 on a 7.5% flat interest rate. If nothing is, actually here it shall say per annum. So that means Mr. X invested $10,000 on 7.5% per annum interest rate. If nothing is given after interest rate, we will assume it is a yearly interest rate. Find the amount of interest. So amount of interest I and final amount, that is P prime, he will receive after 5 years. So the time period here given is 5. So here principal amount, that is the initial investment, principal amount is $10,000. Interest rate R, interest rate is 7.5%. Time period T is 5 years. 5 years. Simple. So we need to first calculate the interest. Interest I equals initial investment times interest times time period division 100. So initial investment is 10,000 times interest rate is 7.5 times time period is 5 division 100. So this 20 will cancel here. So 100 and 7.5, so we will get 750 times this 5. So 0, 5 times 5 is 25, carry 2, 5 times 7 is 35 and carry 2, 37. So Mr. X will receive $3,750 of interest in 5 years. So now what will be his final amount? Final amount P prime. Since we know initial amount and we already calculated I, so we will be using P plus I will be the final amount. So we are not going into this complex calculation. So P plus I, P is 10,000 and interest is 3,750. So altogether the final amount will be, if we calculate, it will be $13,750. So here in this whole relation we were given P, R and T, that is initial amount, interest rate and time period, and we found capital I, that is the interest amount and the final amount.